this hill without falling over backwards. Oh dear, I've hit the wall. I can definitely say I've hit the wall. Got a very chesty cough, as you've already heard. A cold on top of that. And I'm just super tired and exhausted and... But yeah, that was my time in Adelaide has come to an end. I've met my friends, or passengers. Yeah, the city itself, not particularly fascinating or amazing, somewhat bland, per se, if you could say that. There isn't anything particularly eye-catching or, ooh wow, historic sort of thing. It's just a generic city. They did have this thing called an Ollie bus, which is supposed to be an automated, autonomous, self-driving bus. Although it does need a guy in it to watch it and do some like basic controls. And yeah, keep an eye on it. And it's not particularly fast either, it only does about 8 miles an hour, so... I think my bus driving job, and truck driving one as well, is safe for another year or two yet. The machines haven't taken over quite yet. But yeah, today's a fairly slow, relaxed day. I've only got to do a couple of hours drive down to Cape Jervis to get the ferry across to Kangaroo Island. And because my trip's quite last minute, and booking everything fairly last minute, all the nice, decent ferry times went to few days ago. So the only options were 7 AM, which is not happening, or 6 PM tonight, which is the one I've booked on. It's now 11 o'clock, so I've got plenty of time to get there. Oh, bad news. They didn't have a Tenere in stock. Good news, they were able to go through the computer system and look at the exploded diagrams of the Tenere. And there are no signs of rubber washers anywhere, which is somewhat confusing, so I've then no idea where they come from. Because the only things they took apart was the handlebars, that, and that. Everything else is as it should be. So unless they've come off another bike and someone got confused and threw them in there, I've absolutely no idea where they belong. What I think we'll do, crack on down to Cape Jervis, and then try and avoid the heat of the day and just sit in a cafe and wait for the boat. Well, I don't know if it shows up on camera, but here's the edge of here, so Cape Jervis is down just that hill there. It's a bit of ocean, and then you can see Kangaroo Island in the distance, just before 1:30 in the afternoon. So I've got a few hours to wait yet, until I can get my ferry. Unless I have a word with them, maybe they got a space, who knows. How far to go? 2.5 miles, okay. Easy enough. I hear something big. Surely you could go faster than that. You've only got one trailer. Was he paid by the hour or something? God, you only just made it to the corner. In about half a minute. Oh God, I have to stay here for about 10 minutes. It's going to take him forever to get down to the harbour. Don't know, maybe he knows something round the corner that I don't. We'll see in a moment, but hey.
Yeah, come back. Then I'll take Gravity.
Yeah, okay. Lane 2, yeah. Yeah. Hey, that was lucky. I asked very nicely, and they let us on the 4 o'clock ferry. Let's watch a reversing masterclass on B-doubles. There we go. We're on Kangaroo Island, and I'm going round to King's Coat first because, as I said, I was going to get fuel, but I left it till later because I knew that my bike could get here, and forgot that in some of the remote locations they tend to not stop 95 and only do 91. Now I'm guessing that this one and only road that goes around King's Coat is the only tarmac road on Kangaroo Island. After that, it's all dirt roads, so I'm not sure whether to camp near King's Coat or try and get down to Vivian Bay. Yeah, I'll see how I feel once I get there. Morning, how are we? I'm getting better slowly. I think the cold's almost gone, the cough's not too far behind. But yeah, it sort of tailed off a bit yesterday because the camera battery ran out, but here we are the next morning. Campsite's lovely. Got myself a little spot. It's got a few bits and bobs, toilets, expensive showers, $2 for 3 minutes. And if they're solar ones, then you're not guaranteed hot water, especially today because it's fairly cloudy and somewhat windy, hence why I'm wearing a jumper. But yeah, we're on Kangaroo Island at Vivini Bay or something like that. It's tarmac roads all the way down, apart from the last little bit. It's gravel for the last couple of kilometres. And even though it's not deep gravel, it is quite slippy and slidey. So it got mildly hairy at odd points last night. But yeah, gonna have a little tour around the island today. There's a few little places I want to see. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's jump on the bike and start touring around the island. So this is a dirt road in Australia. Quite a lot of loose dust. They feel a bit slipperier than the ones in New Zealand, that's for sure. And they're a lot less comfortable to ride on, especially all these bumps. But they are very bumpy. Plan for today is to make our way back to the road, turn left, and then just do a big loop around the island today. That's pretty much it. Alright, we're here, going on a cave tour. Just got here in time. There's one every hour. We're going on the 11 o'clock one. So I'm just walking up this path at the minute. Guide should be behind there somewhere, catching up at some point. So it's me and 2 others, I think, on this tour of the caves of some sort. Don't know what it's about, we'll find out.
Down here, and we noticed that there is a bit of activity. Oh, yeah, a little water. Water on the ground, nice and wet through here. And looking, we have a little water droplet hanging here. We have another one above your head there coming through. Oh, yeah. And one off the end here. And that's as exciting as it gets for our cave. All right, not a huge amount of activity, but this is from the average of 650 mil per year. All right, now it does look a lot like melting wax, doesn't it, in here? So they called this chamber the waxworks chamber, okay? All right, so just before we head out, I just want to show you something up here. On the ceiling, we have some tree roots. Ah. Now look carefully. Can you see them moving a little bit? Yeah. So that's the airflow that we get in the cave. So where you saw the sinkhole, get a whole lot sucking in through there, circulating through the cave and back out again, which makes it nice and fresh down here. Yeah, it doesn't smell at all. And it keeps the crystal, well, nice and fresh really. Yeah. Not a lot of mould, mildew, anything like that. Yeah.
And no bats. So this is the old way, this is the way they used to come through?
No, this way.
So that apparently is a sinkhole that leads down into the cave, and this is the original cave entrance that they used to get in and out of back in the day, years ago. And it's, what did you say, 82 or 87 sinkholes that lead down into the caves, or different sections of caves. I don't know if they're all interlinked together or not, but yeah, it's about a 45-minute tour, 3 chambers. It's not as extensive as I was expecting it to be, but it was nice enough. It's quite windy and cold. I think I'll put my jumper back on. But this is Admiral's Arch, supposedly. was just riding up the road there, and I've seen they've got this big forest. And I thought, oh, it's a lovely forest. But once you go look and you're actually driving past it, you see all the trees are in perfectly straight lines. So I don't think this is a naturally occurring forest. These trees are far too conveniently in straight lines. There we go, we're out. It's just a dirt road all the way. Then there's a random little bit in here. What's in here? Nothing particularly major, okay. Whatever. I was just slowing down here to stop and have a look around. And just as I've come to a halt, I've seen there's a gap in the trees, so I thought, sneak through here, why not? And that clearly other people have. And that almost looks like a road down there, but it's not marked on my map, so... Or another option is to just take off into the woods and see what happens. See what's across the other side. As long as there's no big surprise potholes anyway. There's some more tracks over there. So it looks like people do go off-roading here. Yeah. There's the road, that's where I came in. I'll get some pictures here and then we'll carry on. See where I next end up. That's quite a nice little ride round. So this is one of the last major north-south roads. And I'm wondering whether to go down here, because it does take me roughly to where I want to go. And not too far from the campsite either. Whereas if I go towards King's Coat, there is a massive long way to go still. And I will be technically going that way tomorrow anyway. Unless I decide to cut the corner off. But that does mean going fully loaded across a dirt road. And it'd be nice to do at least one dirt road today. So I'm thinking I might do this one because it takes me down towards where I want to be. And also cuts off a massive load of distance as well. just over halfway. East-West Highway 2. Yeah, that's a lot of the island that you can cover on dirt roads. Oh, there. Well, there we go. It's a lovely dirt road. And a surprisingly large amount of properties and farms and things down that way. And also a couple of crossroads as well. So if you want to, you can cross a fairly large chunk of the island on dirt roads. It's really the only Penshaw to Kingscote, and then the ring road round the outside. That appears to be the only bit that has tarmac. So I've had rocks, had forests, little random bits of off-road. Now meet Little Sahara. And on the way down here there was a rather large looking sand dune out the back there somewhere. But as of right now, it's 5 o'clock and this place shuts at 5, so insert footage from tomorrow morning. That's a fair bit of sand. There's also a lot of vegetation as well. And according to the fact sheet over at the office there, this sand dune is actually shrinking because the conditions are no longer favourable enough to produce more sand or make the dunes grow bigger. But all of this sand is apparently crushed up seashells from several millions of years ago. So as you can see, there is quite a lot of vegetation that's managing to get a foothold on the sand. And that's why this dune is slowly dying, because it will eventually get covered over one day. Oh dear. Well, going down's a lot quicker than going up, that's for sure. There you go, that was Little Sahara. Back to me from yesterday. Well, there we go. That was Little Sahara. On to our next destination now, the last one for today. And then get back to camp and have some dinner. So it would appear that everything opens at 9 and shuts at 5. So there you go. If you ever come to Sill Bay or any other part on the Kangaroo Island, you need to get it done between 9 and 5. It says there, security notice, smile, you're on CCTV. And we're in the middle of nowhere. But I'm looking around and I see stuck on that tree over there, there's a little motion capture thing that they use for animals. Looking over this way. So that's probably a said camera that is keeping an eye on the gate. Well, it's become pretty overcast now and it's chilling down. So might as well head back to the campsite and get some dinner. Back down Penshaw, catch the ferry across to the mainland, and then it's just a case of smashing out 1,500 kilometres to Sydney.